You are not who you think you are. The only reason why you have panic attacks right now is because you have forgotten that you are the divinity. You are the spirit. You are a spark of cosmic consciousness. You are the source energy. And why have you forgotten this? Because of social conditioning. Do not get me wrong. Social conditioning is good for so many different reasons. The only reason why you are alive right now is because you are socially conditioned to not jump off the cliff when you were a child. When you were a child, you knew not to touch, not to put your hand out on the fire because you were socially conditioned to view fire as dangerous. But what social conditioning has done to a, a vast majority of population is all people have been conditioned to view this universe as entirely physical. All people are made to be materialists because of social conditioning. And when you have a materialistic point of view while perceiving this world, then you see separation. You see a distance between this physical object and this physical object. When there's a separation, there's a lack. When there's a separation between you right now and what you want to experience, there's a sense of lack, there's a sense of separation. There's a sense of separation between you and the wealth that you want. There's a separation between you and the health that you want. There's a separation between you and the women that you want. There's a separation between you and the career and the business that you want. And when there's a separation, when there's a sense of lack, you struggle, you hustle, you compete, you get frustrated, you get anxious, you bear resentment towards other people who are competing for the same types of things. And all of these things, all of these negative emotions that you feel inside of your body is stored in the body. Your body is made to memorize all the emotions that you have felt up until this moment. And when the body memorizes all the emotions it has felt up until this moment, your body can be likened to an unconscious mind. So your body has stored so many negative emotions despite the fact that you have tried to live your life in a very completely logical manner. If you are a person who has earned money and gained some status, and you are a person who is involved in this alpha male industry, there's a very common saying that emotion is only for females, emotion is for losers. Do not listen to your emotions, just do your thing, just be logical in your life. And you have listened to that advice, but your body keeps score. And the only reason why you have finally exploded is because your body is giving you the warning sign. It has built up all these negative emotions and it has finally exploded into panic attack. It's telling you, open your eyes, do not be a materialist. View this world as it is. Open your eyes and see this world as a completely spiritual and mental universe. And I am not saying this out of my ass. This has been scientifically proven by modern physics. The universe is spiritual and mental is because the only thing that is in existence is spirit. That is the only thing that exists. Everything that you can perceive through your five senses is a manifestation of that one spirit. This physical thing is a manifestation of that one spirit. This manifestation of the spirit. This manifestation of the spirit. When spirit is all there is, there's no sense of separation between anything. Because spirit is everywhere all at the same time. And the reason why universe is mental is because you can write programs in your subconscious mind, and subconscious mind directly communicates with that one spirit and gives you the thing that you desire. So if you have written bad programs in your subconscious mind, bad feelings, bad mental imagery unconsciously, then you are directly communicating with that spirit and you have brought about terrible circumstances in your life, deterioration of mental health, panic attacks, anxiety, so many tragic circumstances in your life, all because you have unconsciously written bad programs in your subconscious mind. So please understand this simple thing that the universe is spiritual and mental. And I realized this when I had a panic attack when I was training to become a doctor in Nepal. I had a wonderful career ahead of me. I had status in my society, but still I had panic attack and then nothing helped me. None of this alpha male stuffs, none of this chasing your goals, hustling, struggling to gain a particular amount of status and money, all of these things just went out of the window because panic attacks are really hard to deal with. So naturally, I started to become introspective. I studied emotions. I studied human consciousness, the power of human mind, true essence of religion, spirituality. I studied Eastern spiritual masters and Western spiritual leaders who specifically focus on manifestation aspect of spirituality. And I have also discovered one very simple thing that everyone agrees, and that is feeling is the secret of attracting the world, attracting the life that you desire. Neville Goddard, who was a prominent spiritual leader of the West in 20th century, has written a whole book about this thing. Feeling is the secret. When you can impress elevated emotions of joy, gratitude, empowerment, confidence in your subconscious mind, you are going to be a magnet for wonderful life circumstances. All of your panic attacks, anxiety, mental health issues will disappear, and you will start to attract everything in your life that is wonderful, that is amazing, that is peaceful, that is empowering to you. Right now, if you just close your eyes for 10 minutes, you're going to see that your mind is a culmination of so many bad feelings and so many bad mental imagery. And because of that, you are a magnet for crappy situations. So the thing that you must do is change this. So decondition yourself from this conditioning that this universe is completely material. There's a separation between you and this thing. There's a separation between you and what you desire. Decondition yourself from this idea, from this mass propaganda that you need to discard your feelings, you need to completely resent the emotional aspect of life, and you need to say things like emotion is only for females, and you need to completely live your life in a logical manner. Just wake up to the truth, embrace the emotional aspect of life, and view this world as a spiritual and mental world. If you can manage to do these two things, if you can just affirm these two things to yourself day in and day out, now you're ready for the 3-step meditation program in order to write new programs in your subconscious mind, communicate with the spirit, become completely free from panic attacks, and attract wonderful circumstances in your life. The first step of this 3 simple step meditation step is Yoga Nidra. People like Dr. Andrew Huberman have been calling this Yoga Nidra as non-sleep deep rest protocol. But it is just yogic sleep. What you're doing is you're closing your eyes, you're rotating your awareness all over your body until you achieve a state of relaxation. Your body feels very relaxed and your mind is kind of alert. That is when your brain is producing slow, coherent alpha waves and theta waves. I have a link in the description box down below on how to do Yoga Nidra. When your brain is producing slow, coherent alpha waves, your brain will naturally start to create visualization, will naturally start to create imaginal act of wonderful things happening to you. It becomes very easy for you to imagine wonderful things happening to you when your brain is producing alpha waves. When your brain is producing high beta waves, when you're super stressed or anxious, that's not the time to create wonderful things in your life. That's the time to hide. That's the time to survive. That's not the time to dream. So do Yoga Nidra and start to create slow, coherent alpha waves in your brain. And when your brain is producing theta waves under this yoga nidra, all the creative imaginal act that you will perform using your conscious mind will go right into your subconscious mind when your brain is producing theta waves. Because in theta waves, the doorway between conscious mind and subconscious mind is wide open. There is an absence of analytical mind. Now, you are just going to accept the imaginal act, believe the imaginal act, and surrender to the imaginal act as if it is the truth when your brain is producing these beautiful, slow, coherent theta waves and alpha waves. So, after you do Yoga Nidra for about 13 minutes, what you're going to do is imagine. Imagine an act, imagine a scenario where you're already the person that you desire to be. Imagine that you're already free from panic attacks. Imagine the things that you're going to see, things that you're going to hear, smell, taste, feel after you have become completely free from panic attacks. Provide all the sensory vividness to the imaginal act. Maybe you can imagine that you're walking into a room and you're just taking command of the room, and you can feel in your imaginal act that your breathing rate is really relaxed. You can even take your pulse rate in your imaginal act and find it to be just 70 beats per minute. But if you're an anxious person, if you're afflicted with panic attacks, normally it is about 100 beats per minute. You can imagine that your mouth is now wet all the time, but right now it's probably dry all the time. Imagine that as soon as you wake up in the morning, you have a big smile on your face instead of all these racing thoughts in your mind. And you're saying to yourself, finally, I'm free from panic attacks. Imagine that you're finally becoming able to drink coffee and smell the aroma of coffee again, because right now, maybe you're avoiding coffee. And say to yourself, I can finally drink coffee again because I am free from panic attacks. Maybe right now you're avoiding dating. So start to date in this imaginal act. Start to go on a date with a partner and touch their hair, kiss them, start to smell their perfume, start to hear your romantic partner say to you, wow, you're so peaceful, you're so calm. Please tell me your secret. How did you manage to be so calm and relaxed and so powerful as a human being? Start to hear your friends and family say to you, wow, you have changed so fast. Start to say to your friends and family, guys, you do not have to worry about me anymore. I have found the secret of changing my life simply by changing my mind. Of course, that sounds very cheesy. You can imagine anything. You can imagine you saying anything to them. But whatever you imagine must signify to your subconscious mind that you have now actually changed, that you have now actually started to live a life where you are no longer afflicted with panic attacks. That's what you must signify to your subconscious mind. And now, the third step is mental rehearsal. Simply mentally rehearse all this imaginary act, all this imaginal act over and over and over again. Because with enough mental rehearsal, the neural network that is formed inside of your brain starts to become hard, set, and permanent. By the way, the neural network that starts to form in your brain starts to reflect like whatever you have imagined is actually happening to you in real time, because your brain is so objective that it cannot differentiate between an imaginal act and a real life experience if you provide all the sensory vividness to your imaginal act. So start to take advantage of this wonderful property of your brain. Now, all you have to do is mentally rehearse this imaginal act, and with enough mental rehearsal, the neural network starts to send a rush of chemicals down your body. These chemicals are very important because these chemicals are going to create feelings in your body that are going to be equivalent to whatever you have imagined. Your imaginal act signifies that you are now living a life where you are no longer afflicted with panic attacks and everything in your life is wonderful So you are going to feel the equivalent emotions of joy, gratitude, and empowerment and confidence and all of these wonderful positive emotions. Now, these elevated emotions are the secret. These feelings are the secret of breathing life into your imaginal act. So the only thing that you must get really good at is becoming able to sustain these elevated emotions for a long period of time. And how do you do that? You become very proficient at holding your attention on the desired imaginal act and mentally rehearse it. Because as a person who is afflicted with panic attacks and anxiety, your attention is always going to go to the past traumatic experience or future worst case scenarios, and it is never getting just drawn to the imaginal act that signifies that you are free from panic attacks. But if you can hold your attention on the imaginal act that you're now free, that you can see wonderful things, you're hearing wonderful things, you're smelling wonderful things, you're feeling wonderful things, you're tasting wonderful things, and your life is completely wonderful, and you can mentally rehearse this imaginal act, you're going to embrace all the emotions from that imaginal act. And these feelings are going to send a magnetic charge to the spirit. The imaginal act is like an electrical charge to the spirit. It says to the spirit, this is what I want. And the feelings, these elevated emotions, is a magnetic charge that you send to the spirit. Now, you're drawing whatever you want to you. Now you do not have to go. You do not have to hustle. You do not have to sweat. You do not have to bleed. You do not have to compete. You do not have to be frustrated. All the things that you imagine will come to you. But it's not even about that. If you just learn how to feel all of these wonderful positive emotions, simply by closing your eyes and making your inner experience of thoughts, mental imagery, and feelings real, then panic attacks are going to naturally disappear. Because anxiety, panic attacks cannot coexist with the emotion of gratitude, empowerment, confidence, joy, and happiness. So all of these things, all of this imaginal act getting manifested into your three-dimensional world is a bonus. It's not even about that. It's about becoming able to sustain these elevated emotions, to create these elevated emotions, irrespective of whatever your external circumstance is. So do these 3 simple steps as soon as you wake up in the morning and before you go to bed at night. Why? Because these 2 are the windows where your brain is naturally trying to produce alpha waves and theta waves. So your subconscious mind is naturally trying to receive all sorts of mental imagery and feelings. So do not lose these 2 windows and do this step at whenever free time you get during the day, because you need to get really good at becoming able to sustain your attention on the imaginal act, mentally rehearse it until you derive feelings from it. This is how you get complete freedom from panic attacks. View this world as a spiritual world. Use your subconscious mind to communicate with the spirit. Impress your subconscious mind with wonderful mental imagery and wonderful feelings, and you will come out so fast that people are going to think that you're taking some sort of illegal drug. It's not even a joke. So right now, if you have somebody in your life who is currently afflicted with panic attacks and anxiety, send them this video. It's going to be tremendously helpful for them because I have given all the information in this video. But if you want to experience one-to-one online personalized coaching, then message me on my Gmail or my WhatsApp, which are linked in the description box down below and the pinned comment section down below. Remember, sky is the limit once you truly know how to relax through Yoga Nidra, imagine correctly, and feel the emotions of your desired imaginal act correctly. Subscribe and hit the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video.